Trenches Politics TV up in this piece. When we get on live stream, niggas, cause I wanted to get high. I'm gonna get it high today, nigga. I ain't even lying to you, gang.
What's up, gang? Welcome back to Trenches Politics TV. We definitely politicking from the trenches. One person is dead and 3 others are injured after a shooting broke out in Southwest Philadelphia Saturday night. Officers say it took place outside of a home on the 1000 block of South 51st Street just after 6:30 p.m. Now, according to the police, there were 2 juveniles and 2 adults were found suffering from gunshot wounds at the scene. Investigators say a 23-year-old was shot once in the leg, a 17-year-old was shot twice in the arm, another 17-year-old was shot multiple times throughout the body, and an 18-year-old suffered a gunshot wound to the head. Now, even though it does appear that the shooting occurred from both sides of the street, it's still unclear if any of the gunshot victims were actually the individuals who were doing the shooting themselves. That's still under the investigation. Now, how about that? The 18-year-old was transported to Penn Presbyterian Medical Center, where he later died. And 2 of the other victims, the 17-year-old and the 23-year-old, were transported to Penn Presbyterian in stable condition. Officers say the other 17-year-old was initially transported to the hospital of the University of Pennsylvania by private vehicle. He was then transferred to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia in critical condition. At the scene, you can see several marked shell casings on the roadway. The crime scene had to consist of at least 25 to 26 shell casings on both sides of the 1000 blocks of South 51st Street. And about 20 more shell casings was found on the west side. An additional 6 to 7 were found on the east side. Now, how about that? Now, according to investigators, a family gathering, possibly a graduation party, was taking place at a home on a block, and many people were in attendance. To what degree that attracted what led to the shooting is unclear. At this time, Pace noted, based on the information that we have this far, no one inside the home was shot. However, given the crossfire, several homes on both sides of the block were struck by gunfire, as were several parked cars too. Now, once the shots were fired, police believe someone ran inside the home, which has now become part of the investigation. Authorities say officers told Action News a second scene has been identified in this incident. Authorities have not yet released the victim's identity in this case, but police say no arrests have been made, but a weapon was recovered at the scene.
Police say an 18-year-old who was shot in the face unfortunately died. Police say a 17-year-old was shot 4 times and is now in critical condition at CHOP. According to officials, the other 2, ages 22 and 16, are in stable condition at the hospital.
So there was shooting occurring on both sides of the street towards each other, and as a result of that, homes on both sides of the street were struck by gunfire, as were several parked cars.
Officials say at least 27 shots were fired, but no one inside any homes were hurt. Police don't know if this shooting was targeted or if the shooter and victims know each other at all. Police are also looking into the connection between the 4 victims and if any of the victims shot back.
Deadly quadruple shooting on the front porch of a home. 3 of the victims, just teenagers. This is the 10 o'clock news. I'm Jennifer Lee. Let's get right out to our Alex George with the latest details. Alex, what do we know tonight?
Jennifer, we know this shooting happened just around 6:30 this evening, but we also know that authorities are still looking to find a motive.
There were several people that were shot by gunfire. It's unclear who, if any, of the gunshot victims were actually individuals who were shooters themselves. That's still under investigation at this time.
On the 1000 block of South 51st Street early this evening, gunfire sounded off through the neighborhood.
There were 4 total gunshot victims that we know of at this point, and and one of them was pronounced at 6:55 at Presbyterian Hospital.
Police say two parties were shooting at each other from across the street and that there were 26 shell casings found.
Based on the information that we have thus far, no one inside the home was shot. However, given the crossfire, several homes on both sides of the block were struck by gunfire, as were several parked cars.
The victims were one 16-year-old boy, one 17-year-old boy, one 18-year-old boy who passed away, and one 22-year-old. That 17-year-old is still fighting for his life.
A 17-year-old male was shot 4 times. He was rushed to Presbyterian Hospital, where he's currently listed in critical but stable condition.
Onlookers say there might have been some kind of family gathering or celebration at the house before the shooting happened.
It does appear that there was a family gathering. To what degree that attracted what led to the shooting, it's unclear at this time. That's still under investigation. But one of the homes on the block, there were a large number of people inside the home.
Philadelphia police say all of these shots were fired outside of that home from across the street, two parties shooting at each other. They did say that 20 casings were found on one side of the street and 5 or 6 on the other side. When we asked if that showed what party started this shootout, they said that is still under investigation. Now, Jennifer, the victims were taken to different hospitals across the city, some by private vehicle, some by ambulance. But what we do know right now is that that 17-year-old boy, as we said in the story, is still in critical condition.
Now, how about that, gang? What do y'all think was going on? Was it a gunfight? Surely it had to be something, because there wasn't no NRA members, and they surely wasn't a Christian MAGA supporter. So, 2 groups meeting up on a block, shooting, it's gunshots going back and forth across the street at one another. And you mean to tell me ain't no arrest yet made, but guns were recovered on the scene? Something ain't sounding right. Make sure y'all hit that like button, comment, subscribe to the channel. Thanks.